running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
All right, it's Coffee Ann here on ON, AM, and FM. We were supposed to have the news, but I timed that completely wrong.
Yeah,
so
the Weird Al
sorry
song came at the time the news was supposed to come on.
That was odd. So anyway.
Well, I enjoyed Weird Al better than the news, to tell you the truth.
Good thing I'm here today to straighten you guys
this
out.
out, will you, Gary?
exactly.
Thanks. This is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us. It is Coffee Ann time. Dave Richards is here. Hi, Dave.
I am? Okay, well, hi there. How are you?
And Gary Smith is here. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning.
We invited Gary in because on a Tuesday, usually, we have Ed Carew and Linda Tebow, and they both couldn't make it in today.
Both on assignment.
So we Gary, you got to be two people. So best
Wait a minute. What am I doing here?
I can handle it.
All right, very good.
Big enough.
The first segment of the Coffee and Program is sponsored by the Carew Investment Group.
A message from the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street, at the corner of Clinton and Cumberland Streets here in Woonsocket. The Carew Investment Group offers you personal management of investment accounts. Depending on what you're looking for, whether it be to enhance your current income, a 401k rollover, or retirement income, we'll put together a plan for you. We focus on using quality dividend-paying stocks of companies that you know, investment quality bonds, exchange-traded funds, and use the advantages offered by IRAs. You can contact Paul or Ed at the Carew Investment Group anytime for a free no-obligation portfolio review at 765-8880. Our office is at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket, and our telephone number again is 765-8880. You can also email Ed at ed@carewinvestmentgroup.com or visit the website at www.carewinvestmentgroup.com. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
It is Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks, Ed.
Before we get anywhere on the new
Yes.
topics today, Joe, I'd like to bring up that yesterday's show, which I was tremendously happy to guest on, the baloney that was going on about the Pelosi incident was really thick.
All right.
They're talking about letting people in that he knew and all the rest of this sort of stuff. And now they got the guy by the scruff of the neck. They announcing, oh no, he broke in through the back. He forced his way into the house.
Have they changed that story?
No, they're saying that he did that. Yesterday you were talking about, well, we don't know why he let him into the house.
No, I said
Had
I
to
don't
know
know.
him.
I don't know what story is correct.
Yeah.
Because I'm hearing a bunch of different stories.
Right.
And we have a note on that as well.
Do you now?
Yeah. Talking about what Romeo said yesterday and things like that. And I guess they're quoting Romeo, but I'm not sure here. Well, it was intended for Nancy. This person says Romeo is missing the point big time. Fact is, Mr. Pelosi was hammered in the head, so that's attempted murder, period, not just attempted murder on Nancy Pelosi. The Nancy thing is a foregone conclusion. Perpetrator could have gone after the maid or the butler or anybody else. Can't believe he said that. So
No, he couldn't have.
So
Well, my comment.
Latest news report is that Mr. Pelosi was alone in the house.
Okay.
So he couldn't have gone after the maid or the gardener or the nanny or whatever.
Gary?
According to the news that I saw last night,
Yeah,
Mr.
right.
Pelosi had gone into the bathroom and locked himself in and called 911.
Okay.
The police arrived, at which time Mr. Pelosi unlocks the bathroom door and tries to make it to the front door, where he was then attacked by the intruder, this deranged person.
Okay. And that's where you get hit in the head?
And that's when he got hit in the head. Why didn't he just stay there?
In the bathroom.
He could have talked to the police on the phone. He was safe in the bathroom. You don't
know.
You don't walk out to greet the intruder on your way to open the door and let the police in. No, just excuse me, sir. Just sit here for a minute while I go open the door for the police.
Yeah, no, come on. He's got an expensive door. He doesn't want the police breaking it in.
His head's just not
The
worth
insurance
anything.
company might not pay off because, hey, you were in the house. How come you didn't open the door? You forced the cops to break the door.
I don't think
So now they're
go
paying for
there.
head surgery.
Different insurance company.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
All right. Well, I still don't know who to believe on this
Right.
story. So we'll have to wait for more information.
It's a
to come
travesty
out
of
on this
American
one.
journalism.
And does, some people are reporting that he knew who this guy was and that he was a friend of his. Is that true or not true? I don't know.
Nope.
Well,
Well,
apparently it just lived down the street.
Okay, first I'm hearing of
Well,
that.
this is a gated community, isn't it?
and then there was the report also that adds a little more fuel to the fire that he had a list of people who he was going to correct.
That's right.
Yes.
I heard that too.
and that she was on the list and the most handy. But
So I
then
don't
she
know.
wasn't home.
But I thought he did have one kind of interesting thing. He was going to tie her up and ask her questions, and if she lied, he was going to break her knees. Now, I think that is not an unreasonable thing for test for all politicians.
don't tell the truth, break their
Gary.
knees.
Just to put them in a chair, tie them down, and as soon as they lie, break their knees.
Oh, good.
Wow,
So that might solve some
that-
problems.
that's rough.
No,
All right.
that's just so incredibly out there. I mean, how are you going
I
to know?
exaggerate the point.
Yes, okay. I'm glad you said that. But how do you know that somebody's lying to you? You can surmise. You have a body of information, and if it's inconsistent with what you know, fine. But then again, it might be the truth from their point of view, and they didn't intentionally lie to you.
Well, there are facts that can be proven. That's why they're called facts.
But not right there while you're holding the hammer over their knees.
I don't know.
Sounds like kangaroo court justice to me.
I'd say play the tape before you hit me in the knee with the hammer. So
All right. Speaking of that, I like those commercials where the couples are arguing over who said it was going to do what, and they say, "Do we go to the videotape?" And in comes the NFL referee with the computer, and then they take a look at it and they decide who's right and who's wrong. Have you not seen these?
I have not seen these, but I
Thank
think
goodness
it's great.
I haven't seen
Oh,
these.
this is pretty,
yeah.
pretty clever. All right, moving on to another subject.
I hope so.
Linda Tebow asked me to mention this because she couldn't be here. She was going to mention it herself.
Okay.
But she wanted me to mention it to the public. The 8th Annual Veterans Appreciation Dinner will be held at the Gus Ayotte Senior Center on Thursday, November 10th. Now, they had to cancel it the last 2 years because of COVID restrictions, but this year they're going forward with it. The doors will open at 4. There'll be a ceremony at 4:30 with dinner to follow. All veterans are welcome. They are free of charge. Guests are $10.50. You can call Aging Well to register. Their number is 766-3734. This will happen on Thursday, November 10th.
Well, we can mention that again a little later on in the show, I think.
All right. So
Bears
that's,
repeating.
So there you go, Linda. The other thing I wanted to bring up right off the bat, no one won Powerball last night.
Good.
I should say, let me rephrase that. No one won the grand prize of Powerball. I myself won $4.
Hey, that
Thank
gets you
you.
another ticket?
Thank you. Thank you.
Isn't it a clue
That
to all these
that gives
people?
you 2 tickets, Dave.
Well, if you don't go for the power play, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Isn't it a
What?
clue to these people that millions and millions and millions of people keep buying these tickets
And they don't win.
Nobody wins time after time after time after time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doesn't that just enlighten you a little bit?
No, it doesn't.
On what?
No.
What am I supposed
as
to be
to your,
enlightened on?
as to your chances of
I
winning.
know my chances of winning are astronomical. But Dave,
But I'm just telling you, the American public wants what they want. They want their cheap thrills. They want to have some fun. Hey, listen, Gary,
I'm thrilled. It's
They
it's
play-
a voluntary tax. I love it.
they play the national anthem before every baseball game, but one team always loses. Now, this is wrong.
Oh, it's not just the national anthem, but they pray to God that they're going to be victorious, at least in the
Some do.
southern triangle.
Some do.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just saying,
God,
you know,
God loves me more than you. I mean, that's
this is
this
it's
is
gambling. It's gambling.
but Gary, there's an old joke. It's got some truth to it, and it goes along the lines of a man played the lottery, always prayed to God to win the lottery,
Oh.
and never won. And he finally passes away, and he meets God in heaven. He said, I prayed to you constantly to win the lottery, and you never answered my prayer. You never had me win. How come? And God said, you had to meet me halfway. You had to buy a lottery ticket. So you cannot win if you don't.
It's
play.
hilarious, Gary.
It
Yeah,
is hilarious.
I work with this
Yuck
guy.
it
I'm
up.
telling you, it's
You
hilarious.
You can't lose a buck if you don't buy one.
Well, right, but you can't win unless. You
But I'm guaranteed to save a buck.
But you got to spend money to make money. Look at it that way.
That's not making money, Joe.
Yeah,
No, it's winning.
that's
I know it's
gambling.
winning
You
money.
can't apply investment logic to gambling. I'm sorry. That's,
Well, no, you can. And
Well, you can if
I've,
you're a sick gambler.
I've tried that with Ed Carew, and he laughs at me.
yeah, I'm sure he does.
He
Yes.
says, my retirement plan is to win the Powerball, and he laughs, because it's not a very good plan.
When scratch tickets first came out, I won $1,000 in the very first ticket I bought.
Wow.
The
Really?
very
No
first
kidding.
one.
and you were smart enough to quit while you were ahead.
I wish that were the case.
Oh, really?
Did you get your $1,000, or did you get a 1,000 more lottery tickets?
Oh no, I kept the money and I
Oh,
probably
okay.
bought, I don't know, 10 or 12 more tickets. But then over the few years passed before I smartened up, I bought more tickets.
Okay. Well, I just,
But to your point,
But it's-
when
Yes.
it gets this high, if I'm at a store, and I will not make a separate trip to do it, but if I'm at a convenience store, I might say, what the hell, give me a ticket.
well, I'm like that too. I'm at the convenience store. I'm either getting gas or I'm picking up a gallon of milk. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, that's tonight. So all right.
There's a
we'll
convenience
do that.
store in Blackstone. Wonderful little family-operated business, owned by the parents and the daughter was employed there. Well, the daughter decides that she's going to take every single lottery ticket in that store and win the big money.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she did not win, and to cover the cost of the tickets, and put her parents out of business.
Wow.
Sad story, but
Really?
true story.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So she didn't buy all the tickets. She just took them.
Just took them, yes, because
Wow.
she worked there.
Okay, and figured if
How to
I win,
how to kill your few hours
Yeah.
on your shift there.
If I win, I'll be able to put the money back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Everything's
Well,
going to be cool.
I can understand that logic, but unless, of course, it doesn't work.
But
Then-
again,
wow,
it just goes to show you, it's gambling.
it is gambling, and some people have a problem with it, and I get it. So, but when it's this high, it's like I just feel like taking the chance, and I know I'm taking the chance, and I know I'm going to lose. In fact,
You didn't
I-
lose, though, Joe.
I
you
lost
got $4.
Well, not really, because it cost me $20.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Well, you don't buy just one ticket.
Oh, then okay, I misunderstood. Denise throws $3 down.
You
Once a week, she throws $3 down and says, "What the heck? You got to meet him halfway." Like
gotta-
the old joke.
Yeah. So I had a 20, and it said, "Give me 10 tickets." Okay, and I won $4. So I actually lost 16. I understand that.
Didn't even get a free spin on that one.
No,
Yeah.
but this time around, I'll go back with another 20. So give me 10 tickets. Oh, and here's 2 more. So now I will now have 12 chances to win it next time. See how that logic works?
No,
No.
that's gambler's logic.
I can do the math, and it still comes up you being a loser.
You don't know that. Oh boy, if I win, you get nothing. All right. So I heard a good thing on the. Oh, wait, we should take a break first. We're bringing this up in the next segment.
Yeah, we're having too much fun. Take a
All
break,
right.
Joe.
All right. This segment of the Coffee and Program has been sponsored by our good friend Ed Carew, who will be joining us next week here on the Coffee
With
and
a
Program.
tan.
He will be looking very nice. And this segment brought to you by the Carew Investment Group.
Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880. In business, you don't last long if you don't know what you're doing. And if that's the case, I must know a thing or two. I've been in the investing business since 1987, helping people just like you with their investments. At the Carew Investment Group, we employ a conservative approach to client portfolios by using only the best quality companies available, many of which pay a quarterly dividend. We look for opportunities that we expect will go up in value, not every day, but over time. We take our responsibilities seriously and always place our client needs first in any investment decision. If you want to know more or would like a free portfolio review of your current holdings, call Ed at 765-8880. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA, NSIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Seasonal allergies got you down? The Honey Shop has a solution. Breathe.
It's the all-natural cold and allergy remedy made right here in Woonsocket. Or perhaps you have sleep problems, arthritis, or some other ailment that you're looking for a natural solution. The Honey Shop is also starting classes again. So, if you're looking to learn something new, stop by 1300 Park Avenue in Woonsocket near Park Square, or give them a call at 401-766-1488. The Honey Shop.
The high cost of living, rising energy costs, safe streets, secure elections. These are the issues facing every Rhode Islander, and they require real leadership and real solutions. My name is John Brian, and as State Representative for District 49, I assure you that I will work to earn your trust each and every day that I serve as your state representative. I'm running as an independent candidate because in this climate of political gridlock and consistent conflict, I think it is truly important to elect candidates that will have an open mind regardless of party or personality. Neither political party has a monopoly on good or bad ideas. Holding the city, town, or state back because of a party designation holds us back from the successes that we could otherwise achieve. As a former state representative and vice president of the Woonsocket City Council, I have the experience and knowledge to hit the ground running on day one. I humbly ask you for your vote, and I look forward to serving you as your state representative. Paid for, Friends of John Brian.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
WOON Woonsocket Radio, ON AM and FM.
Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us, Joe Callahan here, along with Gary Smith and Dave Richards. So I wanted to bring this up because, Dave, I was listening in very early this morning to the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Ah, yes.
And his question basically on that program this morning was, how far back can you recollect your earliest memory of yourself?
Oh,
How old were you that you can remember being you? And Gary, do you have a?
They say that this
Everybody's
is actually impossible, but I had my my tonsils out when I was 2 years old, and I remember vividly the operating room and the doctor and the nurse.
Okay.
Now, you're not supposed to remember, I don't think, anything before 4. But maybe because it was such a traumatic event, it stuck in my mind. I don't know.
All right.
But I was 2 years old. I almost lost my hearing. As it was a risk that I was going to lose my hearing because of something to do with my tonsils. I don't understand any of that. But anyway, yeah,
Cool.
that's my earliest memory.
Dave, do you have a earliest memory that you have of yourself?
Lots of vivid memories from 4.
4,
and
okay.
scraps from before that.
Okay. I'm like Gary. I also had my tonsils out at 2. And
Really?
I can remember.
We got kindred spirits.
Yes, I can remember.
I was 7.
Someone in a gown and a mask bringing the ether mask down, coming down. That's how they put you out back then. And I can remember sitting up in the bed in the recovery room, or you stayed in the hospital for a few days afterwards, and because you were a kid, you were in a very large room. You didn't get private rooms or semi-private rooms back then. I just remember being in a big room with a lot of the kids. And that's about it.
I don't remember anything after the
that?
surgery.
And I can remember 3 walking around the neighborhood I was in at the time. And then 4 is, really cognizant of being you. But that's amazing that we can both go back to 2.
Allegedly.
And allegedly, and I'm pretty sure this is what happened. It's what I remember. So, okay. Just wanted to bring that up because I found it fascinating that the Old Farmer's Almanac brought it up. All right. Now, Dave, we got the press release from interim mayor Gendron, and the sale of the middle school.
Yeah.
It has been finalized.
That's true. That's story number 1 in your list of on the hit parade there. The and it is. Forgive me for correcting you on the air. I called him interim mayor for a while, but technically speaking, he is the mayor.
The mayor. Okay.
And so when I looked at his press release, I noticed that he signed it Mayor Daniel M. Gendron. And so it is completely correct for us to call him mayor, not
Okay.
interim mayor. And I think that perhaps in deference to his feelings, then we should do it that way. But of course, he and everybody else knows that he cannot be mayor after the inauguration of the elected officers, which is, I believe, December 6th. He can't be because he didn't run for the position. And that if he succeeds in being reelected to the council, he'll be back as city councilor. Subject to the reorganizational meeting, whether or not he'll be president again. So those are the details and the specifics of it all. But it is completely, yet at the same time, it is completely appropriate to call Lisa Baldelli Hunt mayor, because once a mayor, always a mayor. Mm-hmm. She is not the sitting mayor right now, but it's completely appropriate to address her as mayor. Because if she had just let her term go out, or she had resigned, or anything else like that, where she wouldn't be mayor, she would still be mayor. Or
Okay.
she would still have the title of mayor.
Mm-hmm. So, Gary, the city ends up getting $1 million out of this deal.
Not exactly.
Well, after the
less,
fees,
less
fees
commissions and
fees.
Right. And commissions would be on
Closing
a
costs.
deal like that. You're talking good 40,000, 50,000, something like that,
Is
maybe.
that what you're looking at, Gary?
Get ballpark without seeing the contract.
I've had several.
Okay.
1.7 was my highest sale,
Oh.
selling a fire station to the town of Mendon. But I'm against towns selling any real estate. I just think it's unwise.
But if they don't need it anymore,
You don't know that you're not going to need it
At
10
some
years
point.
from now, 20 years from now. When you are the steward of a community, you always need to assume that your city is going to grow and there's going to be needs out there. So I am totally against. Personally, that's I don't live here. It's not my business, but I am against
Well,
towns.
I can
selling.
understand that, but I think there's a flaw in your logic. If the city is holding title to too many parcels of land, then it's the city's responsibility, in deference to the taxpayers, to put those parcels of land or properties back in the tax rolls. So, in order to lessen the effect or divvy up the effect by a larger number of the levy amongst all the taxpayers, I think it's their responsibility to bring those things back on the tax rolls, so the other taxpayers don't have to foot the bill so much.
I think that you can, in some cases, tear down whatever building you might have. And
They've done that here.
And turn it into open space. But I will qualify it by saying that if we bought, if a community ends up owning several 3-deckers or whatever, or a large building in a residential area, and offering it to someone to turn into affordable
Housing.
apartments is not an unwise thing to do. But work with a developer to do that.
Are you worried that if the town or the city gets rid of too much property, eventually they'll come back and have to buy it back?
Well, of course,
Yeah.
it's inevitable.
Okay. I haven't heard of any of that happening though. In any
You haven't lived long
municipalities. That's true. I'm such a youngin. So,
A young pup.
but that's happened in other municipalities that you've seen where they've sold the land and then years later they come back. Oh, we gotta buy it back.
Well, I live in Mendon, and we
Mm-hmm.
had this vast, 20, 30 acres at the very on the hill. It's a hilltop community. It was a hill, and it used to be back in the late 50s. It was an airport.
Oh, I remember that area.
So
They turned it into an industrial park for.
town had a chance to buy this land for $100,000 back in the 80s, and the Board of Selectmen said no.
Okay.
So what does the town have up there now? We have I don't know. I want to say 20 or more houses, which are a tax burden. Mm-hmm. Every single family house.
But they also have a lot of businesses from the proposed industrial park. Because they when they decided not to purchase the land,
the industrial park was separate from the land.
yeah.
So
Well, no, the industrial park was a plan for the entire area, but it wasn't going to be needed for all
the
of
industrial park consisted of businesses that were in the old airplane hangars, and those weren't going anywhere. So neither here nor there. We're
Yeah,
talking
but if
about
they've
the-
developed
talking
that
about
into
the land.
something nice, there's a McDonald's there, Gary.
We don't have McDonald's in Mendon.
Is that so?
They're actually not even allowed in Mendon.
Is that so?
Some towns
We don't
like that.
we don't allow drive-throughs.
Oh, well, I agree they don't allow drive-throughs. But what's that business with the Golden Arches right next to Imperial Ford?
There isn't one.
Okay. I'll have to go check that out.
Go take a look. Go take a drive on Route 16.
You mean seriously? You're not going to take my word for this?
No.
I don't remember seeing a McDonald's.
That's totally in conflict with my. Maybe it's a
There's a
Dunkin'
Dunkin'.
Donuts.
There's a Dunkin'
Maybe it's a
Donuts.
Dunkin'
Did I misremember it? It's a Dunkin' Donuts,
There's a
not a
Dunkin'
McDonald's.
Donuts, which
All right.
does have a drive-through.
How did they get in?
It was grandfathered because of the previous business that was there.
Was it another donut shop?
When they decided to do zoning in Mendon, it was a big discussion. They didn't want to put small businesses. Like a lot of communities don't allow you to pump your own gas because they don't want to affect the businesses that were there prior to zoning.
Okay.
Where the gas station owner would have been hurt by stations coming in with self-service. Well, it was the same thing with drive-throughs. There was a Dairy Queen there prior. Well, actually, there was a Dairy Queen, and then there was a Chinese restaurant, and then there was the Dunkin' Donuts,
And the Dunkin' Donuts survives.
and they all had some sort of takeout or drive-through that somehow they got grandfathered in for the Dunkin' Donuts, but no one else can do it.
So McDonald's has come and tried to come in, and they
No,
just said,
actually,
they
no.
say,
Mendon's not big enough for they want a minimum of 10,000 people in the community before they will come in. And we
Or
don't-
a highway with a 20 to 40,000 minimum car count per
Okay.
day.
we only have 6,000 people in Mendon, so.
So you won't get one. Is that the same? Is that the same logic? Why a Walmart's not there? It was just the community's too small.
Right,
Okay. What's the nearest Walmart to Mendon?
Bellingham.
Bellingham.
Is it Bellingham? Okay. All right.
And by the way,
Very good.
at the
Yeah.
interstate.
I know,
Bellingham,
right on
at the interstate.
one right at 495.
You can
Okay.
have a small community, but you got to have a highway with a extremely high car count to
All
attract those things.
It being,
Which is why you don't have a big supermarket. Some places where you want to have a big supermarket.
Right. Gary, how was your Halloween? Do you get trick or treaters at your door?
Well, unfortunately, we had an incident at my house last night where one of our goats was killed by one of our dogs, and we ended up going to Tufts Animal Hospital, where unfortunately the poor little Lenny, one of two, Lenny and Squiggy, our goats, Lenny passed away in my wife's lap on the way to Tufts, and. But to your point,
Oh, so you weren't home for the past.
I was
You weren't
I
part
was
of the
surprised going through Grafton. I was surprised how many trick or treaters were out walking the streets.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was a lot of them
Okay. Why does that surprise you?
because we didn't see any in Mendon and then none in Upton. It
None.
was
Oh,
when you
okay.
get to Grafton, it was just
That's where they all were.
kinds of kids.
I wonder why.
Better candy.
Maybe. Who's handing out the big size bars as opposed to the fun
Right.
size bars? That's right.
Well, people know this. I mean, heck, Nicole grew up in Pascoag, and there was some neighborhoods where she grew up where there weren't any kids and the candy pickings weren't all that great.
Yeah.
And then where her cousins were living, there was a lot more kids in that neighborhood, a lot more trick-or-treating, and a lot better pickings.
Well, when I was a kid, when there was only 2,000 people in Mendon. Trick-or-treating was a total waste of time.
Yeah.
And then, so we moved here from Franklin, and we just went to Franklin,
So that you know where the good
where
candy was.
we knew where the good candy was.
The good neighborhoods.
We knew where the breezeways were with the Hershey bars all spread out on the table. Said, please take one.
It's been a long time since I've had to take my children out trick or treating, but there were a few places where we used to go to where a lot of the families would get together in their driveways, and so there would be like 5 families in one driveway. So these 5 houses, you get 5 different candies all in one place. All right, but the parents are out there. They got the outdoor fire pit going, and they're having a couple of pops right there. And they're always asking us parents that are walking with our kids if we wanted something to drink for free.
Wow.
Well, that was very nice, but
That's very hospitable,
It
I
was
think.
very hospitable, but no, thank you. We're out walking with the children, so We'll just steal their candy when they're not looking. So that ended up working out better that way. Time for the forecast here on the Coffee Amp program, and it's being brought to you by Unbound.org.
Cloudy skies today with a high of 65 degrees and a calm wind. There is a 30% chance of showers late in the day. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 50. Wednesday's weather, sunshine and 69. Thursday, sunshine and 61. Friday, sunshine and 66. Saturday, sunshine and 71. Sunday, sunshine and 71 again. And on Monday, partly sunny with a high of 70 degrees.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, cloudy skies and 59 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
Paul Bourget, chairman of the Woonsocket School Committee, is asking for your vote to re-elect him and the current members of the school committee, including Donald Burke, Lynn Kapiskas, Alan LeClaire, and Amy Costa. For the past 2 years, your current school committee has provided experienced leadership and commitment to our students, their parents, and the school administration. They've listened and acted on school issues such as bullying and mask wearing. The school committee approved programs and personnel to address learning loss and social-emotional support. In addition, the school committee provided for a safe and healthy environment for our students. And currently, they're planning for the building and rehabilitation of our schools. Know that your school committee will continue to make sure that our students receive the best education possible. So please, cast your vote for Donald Burke, Lynn Kapiskas, Alan LeClaire, Amy Costa, and Paul Bourget.
Paid for by the Campaign for Paul Bourget.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Hey, we know that guy. Gary Smith is sitting in here with us on Coffee In. Hi, Gary.
He is.
Heck of a guy.
And,
Playing the part of Linda Trudeau. Linda Tebow.
Linda Tebow.
Sorry.
All right, Dave Richards here as well. Today starts open enrollment. If you feel like switching your Affordable Care healthcare
I am
insurance,
so relieved.
that you don't have to take part in this anymore.
I don't have to take part in this baloney anymore.
I do.
Yeah, well, it's
it's
coming up for you one day, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Starting today.
Okay.
If I need to switch out my health insurance through
Yeah.
Massachusetts, I got to go today, and I got a nice letter from the state of Massachusetts, telling us that open enrollment starts today, and you go to this website, and you can stay with what you have and don't do anything, or if you feel like shopping it around. And one of the options was, you can shop it to this health insurance, and you go to that health insurance website, and they have 4 choices for you. Well, which choice do I pick? Is there one I have to specifically pick? I don't know. Now I got to go back to the state and say which one for me, if I want to take it.
Well, the big problem that I discovered when it came time to sign up for that little red, white, and blue card, because you got to do it, otherwise there's penalties. I didn't want to do it, but you got to do it, otherwise there's unpleasant penalties later on, is that you would ask advice. Everybody had advice. But it came in 2 categories. Either it was advice from an insurance company, which had a very specific idea of what you should be doing and which company you should be doing it with, or you went to very helpful, well-meaning people who could not possibly point at anything and say that's a solution for you. They couldn't recommend anything based on past experience because they'd get in trouble because they're either paid for by grants or government or whatever. Well-meaning people, they want to help. When you ask the direct questions, they
They say
can't
no?
recommend anything. And
These are your options. You
right,
pick.
because if you sign up for Medicare, and we just had somebody in our birthday book today, it turned 65 today. If you sign up for Medicare, well, you can't just sign up for Medicare. Now, the federal government will let you just sign up for Medicare, but then you are so woefully underinsured that it's ridiculous. So you've got to buy additional insurance because Medicare just doesn't cut it by itself for the average active person with responsibilities and family and the rest of that. So, all right, so you're looking around. You know, I tried 2 other companies before I came upon. Finally, I was so frustrated, and I'm saying this right now just so that it would maybe be helpful to somebody who's going through it now, is that finally I was so frustrated, I talked to my doctor at a doctor's visit, and he was asking about he said, I see you changed insurance companies again. Yeah, I said, you can't find a good one. He says, yeah, he says, I know, it's difficult. And I says, let me ask you this question. Would you be comfortable telling me what you have chosen? Because we're about the same age.
All right.
What you have chosen. And he told me specifically what company and what plan he chose.
Is it the same one that you already had?
No, not at all by a long shot. However, at the next opportunity, when it came along here at the end of the year, I did choose them.
Okay.
And this year, we're just re-upping because he was right. It's great.
Okay.
It didn't look so great when they were pitching it to me. But I went in on faith because he says it works for him, and I'm just delighted. So I say now I think I've got that problem solved, and the overall peace that comes over you when you're sitting there watching the interminable amount of successive insurance pitches that come on the television. Waiting for
those
you.
are crazy.
Yeah. Well, you just got to call in and tell us what your zip code is. How simple is that?
Well, if the number of calls that I get and commercials that I see trying to get your Medicare business
Yeah.
is indicative of the profits these people make,
Right.
there's got to be an awful lot of money
Oh, yeah.
in Medicare. I mean, more than you can even imagine, because I get calls all day long.
There's
From
companies.
different insurance companies?
There's companies
Yes,
out, yeah.
trying to get
And
your
it-
Medicare business.
Every Tom, Dick, and Harry insurance company now has a division that does Medicare.
Okay. To try to answer
Seriously.
people's questions.
They suck
Well,
you.
that's what they
try to
say.
suck you in by saying, we want to review your account and make
Yeah,
sure that
you-
you're
you-
getting all your benefits.
You should be getting all your benefits. Yeah, but okay, fine.
But what they're really trying to do is sell you on their policy? Is that
Oh
what
yeah,
the
absolutely.
deal
They want to
is?
steal you away from whoever you have.
Have.
Right.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
very much the same as the companies that come up and say, oh, well, listen, we'll get you all your diabetic supplies or all your catheters or whatever it happens to be that's a medical thing. We'll get you all that stuff for you. We'll make sure you never run out. We'll make sure you always got what you need. We're going to take care of you like that. But they make a big profit because you designate them your medical proxy there
Okay,
to
yeah.
do those things.
For you. Yeah.
Right? You must do that. It's not a choice. Otherwise, they can't function for you. And then they will just, wow. And under the disguise of, we'll protect you. And
For
then
your best interest.
Isn't Joe Namath one of the pitchmen
Yes,
for
he
these
is.
companies?
Well,
And,
he's
Jimmy Walker.
here's a guy who
William Shatner.
Here's a guy who candidly admitted that he would endorse and sell anything for a buck,
yeah.
That sounds like Joe Namath.
including pantyhose.
Yeah. And those houses in Tennessee.
I'm not.
Yeah,
familiar.
there's a big development in Tennessee, and he's pitching for them. You really got to move to Tennessee because this is what it's like in Tennessee, and it's wonderful, and I'm here, and all the rest of that.
you can live next door to Joe Namath?
Well, I don't know if the next door is available anymore, but it troubles me, Gary. When we were growing up, there was a great deal of emphasis on the government watching advertising and trying to keep advertising off the broadcast, at least, because they had that. They couldn't do much about magazines and stuff, but they tried. But advertising that was, what's the word I'm trying to use?
Misleading.
Misleading is a good word.
Misleading is it, but predatory was the word I was looking
right.
for. Predatory advertising, where they purposely misrepresent the facts in order to psychologically endear you to them and endear them to you, and then do business with you in whichever way they choose afterwards because you've signed up. And I don't see that happening anymore. I see so much deception in advertising. And maybe I'm just older and more, more able to see it. But I see a lot of deceptive advertising, and it bothers me. And there's so much advertising we could have on this station. But I just refuse to get into it.
Gary, do you see it as being deceptive? Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, the way they try to suck you in to get you to talk to them initially.
Yeah.
It's very misleading.
Then you called them. You got to understand.
But they make it sound like they actually work for your company that you have, and we want to make sure we're giving you the proper coverage. They make it sound like that.
Yes. But they're not.
Electric companies do the same thing. These people that try to save you money on electric bills, they do exactly the same thing. They make you think that they are National Grid or whatever your power company is.
That's right.
And
Got another one in the mail
yesterday.
yesterday.
They are not.
Is this the same thing with the solar companies?
I haven't seen it with solar companies so much yet,
Okay.
but it's probably coming.
So-
I mean, if one
solar-
person can get away with it, then the next person's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Solar has come and gone as a good investment.
Already?
For residents. Oh, yeah, because they've removed certain tax credits, and the contract that you sign with them, I mean, they own your roof. Mm-hmm. And they have rights that now are part of your deed. And when you try to sell your place, you're selling them to the new buyer along with the rest of the property.
And for
That's
how
what
long do they own
I
the
went
roof?
and took a look. We got
Yeah.
we got a lot of south-facing roof on
Yeah.
our property here. And after I purchased the place, I started to look into it. But, Flo Bourget, he had a great deal. It was early on. He got a good, honest deal. He shows me the savings that he's making and all that. Some people have done very well with solar. But by the time, 2016 and stuff, it's run its course. And now there's just a lot of predation going on out there.
Well, I just got solar a year ago, and they got it basically for one reason and one reason only. Because I didn't trust a lot of the things you're saying are true, but I got it because I am protected from rate hikes, like up to a percentage, and I think that with this push towards electric vehicles, that there's going to be electric costs are just going to skyrocket.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm protected against that with solar.
I hope you are. I hope you are.
Well, according to my contract, I am.
So you haven't gone through a winter yet with the solar? Or have you?
No, my solar just went online in August.
Okay. I'll be interested
But
to learn.
I got a deal where I haven't paid an electric bill in 6 months. That was part of the deal.
Yeah.
I got $1,000 up front from them. That was nice. And but again, I didn't buy it for those reasons. I bought it because they anticipate electric bills are going to be going up a minimum of 10% a year. I'm held at 6%. So
Okay.
maybe it's not a lot of savings, but it's something.
It's something. All right. We mentioned this yesterday.
Better than buying lottery tickets.
Touche.
We'll see. I brought this up yesterday, Dave, about we had the situation here at Park Square with the Dollar Tree store, and I said, hey, something happened over the weekend where there was a fire at another Dollar Tree store, and now the story is it's a suspicious fire at a Dollar Tree store. This is in East Providence.
It could happen at any store, couldn't it?
It could, and the two have nothing to do with each other.
Right.
The two incidents. It's just that it's peculiar that it happened at two Dollar Tree store establishments. A small fire broke out early Saturday afternoon at a Dollar Tree store on Willett Avenue. That's in the Riverside section of East Providence. Channel 10 reports employees put the fire out and damage was described as minor, but the incident is under investigation.
Ooh.
So
Okay. The
it
story
makes-
behind the story.
It just makes you wonder, how did it start and who might have started it?
Usually some ignition source, Joe.
Thanks, Dave. But is the ignition source done by an employee or by a customer?
Gee whiz, Joe.
Those are the burning questions that we need to know, or the answers to. So,
No, we don't. It's somebody else's business, somebody else's problem.
yeah, they'll figure it out, right?
Yeah, I have no problems minding my own business, folks. I'm in a business where all this stuff is part of what we do. But in my private life, I don't really care.
All right. Coffee and Program has to take a break right now. More coming up. Please stick around.
In Congress, David Cicilline is delivering for Rhode Island. As global events raise prices everywhere, including here at home, Cicilline is cutting costs for Rhode Islanders. He battled the pharmaceutical companies and lowered prescription drug prices for seniors. David took on the big corporations for price gouging and brought historic investments in infrastructure, manufacturing, and clean energy to create jobs, improve the supply of goods, and help reduce costs for consumers. Visit Cicilline.com and make your plan to vote on or before Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th. David Cicilline, delivering for Rhode Island.
I'm David Cicilline, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Cicilline Committee.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision making and a relationship based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank. Our community, your bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 465956.
Holy Trinity Parish Bazaar is Saturday, November 12th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the former Monsignor Gallery School, 1371 Park Avenue, Woonsocket, which is handicap accessible. There will be gift certificate raffles, split the pot, theme basket, special raffles, also home baked goods and fudge, handmade items, crafts, gift items, books, jewelry, knitted items, and much more. Visit with Santa, give him your wish list, and take photos with the children. Kitchen will be open for lunch and will include the popular dynamites, meatball sandwiches, soup, hamburgers, hot dogs, fries, and more. For further information, contact me, Yvette Houle, at 766-5663.
It is Coffee In here on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us, Joe Callahan with Dave Richards and
You're
Gary
entirely
Smith.
welcome, Joe.
And so the question goes out. If anyone who's watching online, they can take a look at Gary. So, Gary, why are you wearing all black?
Oh, come on.
I need to know.
Well, I could
This
say
is nobody's business. If he wants to wear black, he can wear black.
I could say it was because our dear little goat died last night, and that's in respect for that. But and I also could say that black
It's the
is
only clean stuff in the closet.
I could also
Could say
I'll
that.
say that black is slimming, but that apparently is not true. But no, there really is no reason.
All right. Well, thanks. I'm glad you had me bring that up, Gary. That was perfect.
It's what was next on the hanger.
All right. You know, we've got we've been hearing it for months now. Shortage of this, shortage of that, shortage of the other thing. You want to
Sure.
know what the latest shortage is now?
Yeah, shortening.
No.
No?
There's a
I
shortage.
thought there was a shortage of Crisco. Didn't
Nope.
I hear that?
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I thought I heard that.
I didn't hear that one.
A shortage of shortening. I thought it was a real joke at first, but they said no.
Nope. This is something else. A shortage of the ADHD drug Adderall is putting patients in a tough space.
Oh.
Doctors say that calling around to find it may not work because it's considered a controlled substance. They're concerned that young patients will turn to friends for Adderall or to drugs sold on the streets. There's a continuing surge in fentanyl overdoses, and health experts say a major driver is people taking fake pills. Because they
Okay.
can't find their Adderall, which is basically speed.
Oh, those fake pills are
be in
coming
it.
over the border in truckloads.
Didn't they just bust the big truck?
They bust hundreds of pounds at a time. And that's
Yeah.
just the ones they catch.
Yeah. But this is the first time I'm hearing that, you know, the drug, which is a prescription drug of Adderall, is that now there's a shortage of this. And I forget because it seems that doctors just so want to label kids as ADHD and get them on this stuff.
Oh gosh, you wouldn't believe.
The money, we're going back to
Personal
the money here, Gary.
experience in a school system that had to get your kid into special education
Yeah.
to justify their numbers.
Well, because the real reason for a lot of behavioral problems in kids is dietary. and it's really extensive to try to figure out what food they're allergic to that is causing these problems. This kid can be allergic to carrots. Well, you might have gone through the entire 3 food groups before you got to the carrot to find out that's the one that you were allergic to. So.
It's quite fashionable these days to have a test done that tells you what you're allergic to.
Mm-hmm.
I hear people saying, well, just when I had my allergy screen, they came up with, I'm allergic to popcorn, I'm allergic to peanut butter, I'm allergic to all of these things. One person told me I was allergic to pineapples. Not me, but they said that they were allergic to pineapples. I said that wrong. But and it's like a badge.
To have an allergic, an allergy to something?
Yeah, right. Forgive the old grandpa story again. When I was growing up, you try to be like everybody else. Now you're trying to not be like anybody else.
Oh, it's directly related to the lack of, the infrequency of breastfeeding, which
that might be
takes care of a lot.
There's an argument for that, Gary.
Yeah.
I hear that argument.
But not every woman can do that.
I understand. I'm not condemning anybody. I'm just saying.
And I've always, I saw it with my kids going through school. My daughter's still going through it about this whole. This table is the peanut-free zone.
Ah, yes.
And I asked my son when he went through school, and I asked my daughter, she's going through school, do you know anyone's got a peanut allergy? They all say no.
No, just because they don't know doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
I know, but true. But I go, do you ask around? And they do. They ask around. Who's got the peanut allergy? And no one knows anybody. Now I'm sure there's someone there that does, but it just seemed to go back to the pendulum swinging. It's just gone way to the other side of you can't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at school on the off chance someone might smell the peanut butter.
I can tell you that of all the people that I know, I only know one person that actually has a serious food allergy, and it's from shellfish.
I know a person like that too.
And that's the only person I can ever remember had any kind of food allergy.
And he has to be very particular, and if he eats shellfish, he's going to die.
Oh, I've been there when it was at dinner with him when it was a little bit of something in the food that caused him to swell up, and it was scary.
And I know peanut allergies are serious. This happened a number of years ago. College student at Brown on the east side of Providence at a restaurant on Thayer Street ate chili at a restaurant that they happened to put peanut butter in, and it killed him. Because back then, you didn't say what the ingredients were in all your dishes.
Yeah. Well, the restaurants don't have to, right?
Yeah. So, and that's unfortunately he had some, and it killed him. So, but it just makes you wonder. I think every school has their peanut-free zone, and I think they just do it that way. We do it because someone here might have it. That way, we don't have to check everybody. We'll say, yeah, there's the peanut-free zone. Sit there if you want to.
If only society could have a nut-free zone.
Yeah. All right.
Well, some school got sued for not having one.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I bet, and they probably won. Out in California, this is a good story. An 8-year-old made it to the top of Yosemite's El Capitan. I'm going to assume this is a mountain.
Nah, it's not a mountain.
What is it?
If I remember, it's a spire. It's a.
But you got to walk up it.
Everything's been eroded away around it, and it's got a flat top. If I remember, El Capitan.
So it's a mesa.
Well, mesa is connected to the rest of creation, isn't it?
No, I'm not sure.
It's an edge. All right. I'm not really solid on my terminology either. But if I remember seeing a picture of El Capitan, it was just a big rock formation that was what survived when everything around it eroded away for hundreds of feet down.
Are you up on your hiking terminology, Gary?
Not in terms of El Capitan. No.
All right. Well, the reason it's brought up is the child's name, the 8-year-old. His name is Sam Baker. He's the youngest person.
Are you kidding me? Yosemite Sam, we're talking here?
Yes, Yosemite, California.
I was going to make a joke about it, but I decided not to. But you just left it wide open.
That's his name, Sam Baker.
Not a single varmint was harmed.
His dad is Joe Baker, but Sam is the youngest person to reach the top of El Capitan.
Okay.
Yep, they took pictures, posted it on Facebook. I guess that makes you official. Sam and Joe started it. It's a 3,000-foot journey from the base to the top, and they started last Friday, and they got there this past Monday. So I guess
Congratulations.
I guess you got to camp along the way on your 3,000-foot journey up to get there. So good for them, right?
Well, sure,
I think
but
so.
if you're going up and you're in the ropes and stuff, you can tie them off so that you don't go anywhere. It's a sling. You can take a rest. You can go to sleep. You can have a snack, whatever you need. Yeah.
Okay. Taylor Swift is in the news.
Not again.
Yes, and for good reason.
Oh, okay.
She's not doing anything controversial, nothing ugly, nothing.
She's
like
having
that.
some success after her fight with her record company.
Yes, you're a big Taylor Swift fan, right, Gary?
I actually like a couple of her songs.
Do you?
I can only actually think of one
Okay.
song. Didn't she write the song where she's goes back to her old house? I haven't heard it for a long time, but anyway,
I don't know.
I think I heard a song that I liked from her,
All right.
but I haven't heard anything good about her for a long time.
Taylor Swift is now the first artist to lock down the top 10 spots of the Billboard Hot 100 in 1 week. Anti-Hero, that's the song, tops the list and is only contested by other songs from her latest record. So
A
that's
testament
pretty
to
good.
just how messed up the music industry is now when one artist can take all 10 spots.
Yeah. The previous record holder was Drake. A big fan. Dave's a big fan.
No, I'm not a big
Okay.
fan. I think he's got some talent. I think Taylor Swift has some talent too.
Drake managed to score 9 of the 10 spots last year's with an album called Certified Lover Boy. But he only got 9. And Taylor Swift does one better and does all 10.
Good for Taylor Swift.
So does that just say there's not a lot of talent in the pop music world at the moment? Could you go
The
down that
music
road?
business is a mess. It's so bad they have to go back over stuff they used to do and try to get people to pay for that
Yeah.
again after they paid for it once because they don't have enough to make a living on now.
All right. Has anyone spotted Taylor Swift in Rhode Island lately?
No, she still owns the property though.
Yeah. Is it still for sale?
I don't know. I have not heard.
Look into that, Gary. It could be a sale for you.
I wouldn't know how to look that up.
It's in Watch Hill. Does that help?
Watch Hill?
Yeah, that's the town.
I can do a name search, but I doubt if it's under her name.
Probably not. All right, let's see what else is going on. You know what I watched last night?
No, what did you watch last night, Joe?
My daughter wanted to watch it. We watched It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
No kid.
And we did it because it was not on broadcast TV this year.
Right.
It wasn't on public broadcasting this year. The only way to watch it was on Apple TV.
Okay.
They own the rights to the Peanuts.
And you could have been watching Bride of Frankenstein.
I could have, but I didn't. But luckily enough,
you missed out.
Looking back on it, pretty smart. We have the DVD, so we can watch it at any time. So I didn't have to worry about
What's that? Bride of Frankenstein?
No, Charlie Brown.
Oh, okay.
It's the Great Pumpkin. So, years and years ago, we got the 3 DVD set: Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween.
That's nice.
So I can watch it anytime. But after that, my daughter wanted to watch the original Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
So it is actually the first time. This movie's been around since 1993.
I can't relate to anything you're saying.
No, sorry. It's a Disney movie. Maybe that's why.
Anything in color Gary doesn't want.
Pretty much. If it ain't black and white, it ain't right.
But I'm watching it. This is the first time I watch it from beginning to end, and it's it's a kids movie. They try to scare you a little bit, and I did jump once, which really made me angry, but that I did it. But anyway, but what I noticed, Dave, when I'm watching it, you know what it is? You know what it basically is?
What?
It's a Three Stooges movie.
Yeah.
These three, I didn't know that. These 3 sisters that are the stars of the movie, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy and Jimmy play witches in this movie, Gary.
Yeah, I'm
They're-
somewhat
all right.
familiar with the
So-
premise.
But they're basically the Three Stooges. Bette Midler's Moe, and Sarah Jessica Parker is Larry, and Kathy and Jimmy is Curly. Although there's not the slapstick, there's no hitting of each other. Mm-hmm. And my daughter was like, "How do you know I said, "Well, I've seen enough Three Stooges in my time to see the similarities." Mm-hmm. So in case No one's ever seen it. You haven't seen it, like Gary. And if you're a Three Stooges fan, are you?
No.
Oh, then you're not going to enjoy it at all. so never mind.
Nothing in it for you.
So
I might think it's brand new.
well, you would, but
No, I've seen
But
enough.
Dave, if you go back, if you've seen it, have you seen it, Dave?
No.
If you go see it, I think you'll see the similarities, just the way they interact with each other and how one's the brains and the other tells the other what to do and the others are just kind of silly. and
Wait a
like
minute,
that.
which one of the Three Stooges is the brain?
Mo's the brains. Come on.
Relatively speaking.
Well, he's the one that comes up with the ideas. And
He
this
was the head moron.
And this is what we're going to do.
exactly.
You numbskulls.
the lead moron.
Yeah, there you go. So it's not a bad movie. It's a little dated because it was made in 1993.
Gee
So,
whiz. Time marches on, Joe.
and I was going to watch the newest one, and I fell asleep. So maybe I'll catch it at another time. So we've come to the end of the program. We thank you very much for listening. Gary, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it as always.
My pleasure. Anytime.
All right. And Dave Richards, thanks for coming in.
Great to spend time with Gary and you this morning, Joe.
All right. Stay tuned. Gary Smith is coming back in a half an hour with Gary Smith with his crew. And do you remember here on ON Radio?
But first,
Broadcasting live and
Community
local
Care
daily
Alliance.
from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the